Children these days live and breathe games. Gone are the days of simple click and shoot. We have a bazillion ways to play now. Virtual reality has completely changed the gaming world and made it 200 times more immersive and fun to play. But with more ways to play, especially in online gaming, the boundary separating player privacy and the players themselves is diminishing fast, with children being exposed to online gaming the most. Let's immerse ourselves. Firstly, the gaming industry is a giant with claws. The gaming industry has gotten less attention than social media or streaming platforms in light of privacy issues, despite the fact that children increasingly spend a significant amount of time playing games online. The larger the user base becomes for a certain game, the greater their risk of exposure. Too many children and teenagers play internet games without knowing the privacy hazards they are tumbling into. Thankfully now, regulators of privacy rights are placing a greater emphasis on safeguarding kids' privacy and freedom in the digital realm. Games found online are popular among young people because they provide a platform to interact, play, and subsequently learn, for the most part anyway. Parents worry too much about their children spending too much time gaming, but studies examining the effects are only beginning to emerge. Studies suggest gaming has a lot of goods when it comes to hand-eye coordination, mental sharpness, and prioritization, but also quite a lot of bad that includes health deterioration, addiction, and distorting reality in the mind. Secondly, how does gaming affect children? According to new research conducted by the Oxford Internet Institute on gamers aged 18 and above, playing video games has little to no impact on mental health. Its authors noted the need to do follow-up studies, which should presumably look at the effects of gaming on young people's mental health. We disagree. Children are regularly influenced without their knowledge to give up their personal information in return for free access to privileges in video games. While compared to their PC or console gaming counterparts, the data threats that minors confront when using mobile app games are risky and ask for information that should not be freely given. The PC and console gaming sectors are controlled by huge, well-established corporations. Big names in the gaming industry, like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, have implemented privacy protocols because they're aware of the dangers associated with data breaches. So there's that plus point in the console niche. Next, privacy depends startup to startup. There are a lot of startups and smaller establishments in the mobile gaming industry, and they may not all be equipped to handle privacy issues or adhere to the best practices. Consequently, authorities are focusing on the rapidly expanding online gaming industry, which is known for targeting children and teenagers with digital product advertising. Let's talk about some of the most pressing privacy concerns related to kids' online gaming, as well as some of the newer regulatory responses to those concerns. Moving on, treating all ages the same way might be harmful for gaming companies too. Treating all players the same poses serious legal and commercial dangers for gaming firms. They could better control the hazards to children and their personal information in online gaming by using age assurance systems. People under the age of 18 are considered children according to the laws of several countries and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. This demographic subset is especially vulnerable, and as such, it requires additional safeguards and accommodating policies. Age assurance isn't a solution and shouldn't be relied upon as much. It'll be most useful in the context of a holistic privacy by design strategy. When compared to the closely similar procedure of age verification, the flexibility of age assurance stands out as a key advantage. While the former provides more options for dealing with potential dangers, the latter may force excessive actions. Methods of ensuring a person's age range from self-declaration to verification. This is a lot of safety mumbo-jumbo, we know, but you gotta get serious when it's the online safety of kids in question. Having to verify a user's age may be a burden, if not completely unnecessary, in cases when the harm to children's privacy is minimal. Due to the serious nature of the hazards involved in online gaming for minors, businesses must employ robust measures to reduce such risks. Further, European countries and their take on it. Protections for minors online that have been gaining traction in Europe have now reached American borders. After comparable safeguards and criteria were incorporated into British law, the most populous state in the United States approved the California Age-Appropriate Design Code Act. A story published in the New York Times in August 2022 stated that the bill may mark a change in the way politicians oversee the digital sector generally. Because of the work involved in implementing varied treatments of customers depending on geographic area or age, the article illustrates the reality that regional and national regulations tend to impact the way large tech businesses function generally. Then, what's the solution in light of the upcoming metaverse? While social media sites are subjected to strict regulations, the online gaming business has been mostly unchecked. The gaming industry, however, is a shifting, churning monster. We're about to face what some would term boss-level difficulties. The rise of the metaverse and progress in virtual reality are both contributing to the growing immersion of video games. In a way never seen before, players' identities, social networks, and susceptibilities to manipulation are all laid bare by the rise of immersive gaming. New online gaming services are still governed by data protection standards, but expanded rules will be be necessary in light of innovations like the metaverse. There's a lot of movement in the world of online gaming, and the speed of development has so far outstripped the ability to regulate it. Yet, regulators' stances and government signals suggest that existing and forthcoming regulations will impose an increasingly stringent set of risk-based restrictions on businesses that collect and exploit children's personal information. These norms ought to be reasonable, considering the advantages and disadvantages of online gaming, and they need to be rooted in credible research on how to safeguard online gaming and encourage risk-free experimentation, so that in the end, gaming is accessible but safe. Now, moving on to other news. Firstly, the Netflix and Ubisoft marriage. Despite the lack of success in attracting a sizable user base, Netflix isn't abandoning its games segment. This August, Apptopia reported that it sees 1.7 million users per day. 3 unique mobile games based on well-known Ubisoft games were unveiled by the streaming service and the French video game developer at the Ubisoft Forward 2022 event, which was pretty awesome in its own right. In January of 2023, players may expect a brand new Valiant Hearts release. While the scenario will be fresh, it'll be directed by the same core team that worked on the critically acclaimed Valiant Hearts: The Great War. Up next is a mighty quest game, which will take cues from both the original hack-and-slash action game and the roguelike genre. This is scheduled for release later in 2023. Ubisoft and Netflix haven't shared any big information on the third game, which is also an Assassin's Creed title. Additionally, the streaming platform is developing a live-action TV program that might serve as a prequel or sequel to the game. Secondly, EA is still trying to wound up cheaters. If cheats are given freedom, even the finest video games would be destroyed for everyone. Electronic Arts are making an effort to prevent cheating, but the cost may be too high for some players. With the release of FIFA 23, EA plans to roll out new anti-cheat technologies in an effort to foil even the most adept hackers. The EA Anti-Cheat (EAAC) program is an in-house solution designed to prevent cheating by connecting to the Windows kernel. It's possible, but it might compromise your security and privacy. Most cheating, according to EA, now makes use of kernel-level methods. The Windows kernel, like the kernels of other operating systems, has full access to everything on the computer. Cheating software may avoid mechanisms that function on higher levels and have less access to the underlying OS if it's able to connect to the lowest level of the system, especially useful for those pesky aimbots. Finally, keeping those games private on your PlayStation. On PS4 and PS5, it's simple to keep other players from seeing the titles in your game library. There are 3 possible outcomes, although the mechanics for achieving them vary across platforms. You may start by hiding games by going to your game library, selecting them, and clicking the hide button. Then, you may hide your in-game data, such as your trophy and achievement totals, your current level, and your percentage of completion. You may modify your privacy settings on any system. Finally, your trophies may be hidden one at a time by accessing your profile. You can quickly and easily reveal these goods as well, since it's so simple. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about gaming and its privacy concerns both in the present and the future? Let us know in the comments below. It'd be awesome if you gave this video a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe for more scrumptious videos like this. See you in the next one.